Okay, so um, again, um, good evening to those of you who are joining from the Philippines, which appears to be most of us. And I'm David Blockstein. I work for Bard College, which is in New York State, not in New York City, but out in the state, in the United States. And I live just outside Washington, D.C., in the state of Maryland. I've been working on this project for 6 years, and I will talk about our work in a moment. But I want to give a huge thanks and an opportunity to introduce himself to my dear friend and colleague, Alec Hope Buenaventura. So, Alec, would you like to um, unmute and say hello and introduce yourself, please?
Hello, everyone. All right. So, good morning and good evening or good afternoon for maybe some of you. I'm Alec Benaventura. Thank you, Dr. David, for allowing us to invite people from all over the Philippines. So, for my fellow Filipinos, magandang gabi sa inyo. Thank you for uh, registering and being here tonight. And uh, later, as Dr. David have mentioned, we will be introducing the Worldwide Climate and Justice Education Month. So hopefully, especially for the educators here, it would be a good session for you because we will be dealing about different resources as well where you can resources that you can use for your classes and for your events as well. So it's great to be here and also seeing familiar faces from different events that I have been through. Uh, yes, thank you, Dr. David. Back to
All right. Well, thank you, Alex. So, what I'm going to do now, even as our um, colleagues from our partner organization, Subject to Climate, are joining us. Thank you for coming back again, Elaine, and nice to have you back along with Lara, who's already here from Subject to Climate. I'm going to do a short presentation about worldwide climate and Justice Education Month, and then Elaine, we're going to turn to Tony to talk about some of the specific Filipino and Filipino resources that she's developed. Since so far, everybody who is joining us is from the Philippines, and then we'll turn to Subject to Climate for the resources that you have, you and your colleagues have to share with us. So I think this is going to be a rich opportunity for everybody here. So let me begin by sharing a brief presentation. And actually, I need to go to the beginning. So give me 1 second here. So again, I'm David Blockstein. I am with Bard College in New York. I'm located just outside Washington, D.C. in the U.S. And the project that we're involved in is broadly called Solve Climate by 2030, based on the mandate from the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change the that basically we have until 2030 to make these kinds of changes, and that we believe that education is really one of the key factors. So, in 6 years, working with partners like ALEC and Team Philippines and with Subject to Climate, that we've reached more than 250,000 people through about 1,000 educational events, more than 800 classes, and we've reached more than 80 countries through our work. So here's a map in the 2022, 2023 teach-in. You can see we have a nice set of blue dots in the Philippines from all the great work of Alec and Tony and others in Team Philippines. And just as an example of some of the kinds of things people develop posters, and you can see that these events can be anything from very large auditorium events on the left here to small classes in interactive activities on the right. The key is that it's really up to each of you as the educator, as our educator partners, to do what works best for you and your students. We don't tell anybody what to do. We give ideas, we give resources, as we'll be talking about today, and we have branding materials, logos, and things like that. And at the end, we provide certificates for organizers and teachers and downloadable certificates for their student. So this year, we started 6 years ago with a single day, and we keep expanding. 2 years ago, we expanded to Worldwide Climate and Justice Education Week, which is what was um, on my virtual background. I have to update that. Um, and but this year, with our great power, so called, that we've declared March of 2026 to be Worldwide Climate and Justice Education Month. And that means that we want everybody in the world to do some sort of education during March. And of course, there's nothing special about March. We want you to be doing that really every day. But that March is a focal period of time, just like Earth Day and World Environment Day. If you pick a day or a time in the calendar, people are more likely to do what they could be doing any day. But it provides solidarity and community to do that. So I am going to present a short video introducing it. And this is from our 2025 video. We haven't updated it for 2026, so it refers to dates in 2025 and in the week, but it's still, everything else is current.
When a trip to the hospital or pharmacy
course,
leads to a bill no one saw coming, we're here to help.
Where are you emotionally on climate change? 1 is I never think about. 10 is paralyzing anxiety. Can't sleep at night. Don't want to have kids because their world will be through this topic.
The Worldwide Climate and Justice Education Week is about helping people move from climate despair and disengagement to a mindset of climate repair. This is the education that changes the future. So Climate Week is for everyone. It's for students, faculty, and staff from all subjects, like artists and psychologists, scientists and business majors, students of music, literature, economics, international affairs, healthcare and engineering, you name it.
Join tens of thousands of people around the world in growing climate education. You're not alone. People on your campus are really worried about climate change. If you step up, others will join you. At your school, you can make climate an event. This means solutions and justice events on your campus. Art, theater, panel discussions, films, faith meetings, music, games, fairs, and displays. Check out our website for examples from all over the world. Engage your whole school.
On top of your events, you can also help to make climate a class. This means encouraging climate-concerned teachers from all subjects, art, history, chemistry, psychology, all subjects, to spend at least half an hour talking about how climate change solutions and justice are relevant to their field of study, how artists, historians, chemists, and mathematicians are all thinking about climate change. We have step-by-step guides on our website to help you make this happen.
Last summer was the hottest in history. Massive fires, heat waves, floods everywhere. We have to stop it from getting hotter every year. You can help organize Climate and Justice Education Week at your school. The biggest threat to our future? Thinking that someone else will lead, that someone else will stop the climate crisis. Now, not next month, not next year. We all need to step up. Join us.
All right, so let me close this down before it starts playing something else. So, and thank you. Some of you may recognize Tony in the video. So again, Worldwide Climate and Justice Education Month. You can make climate an event, hold events, make climate a class, and we try to get every teacher in every subject everywhere to at least spend one class period on climate education. This year, we'll be having our second Climate and Justice Education Games Day on March 27th, because a lot of people are using games to be teaching and learning about climate change, and it's a fun way to learn. The key on the events is you figure out what works for you. We have ideas, but we will let you know. And then make climate a class. At least talk about, if you're an English teacher, have the students read something or write something related to climate. If you're an art teacher, have the students do an art project related to communicating or their feelings about climate change. Lots of things that can be done. We provide resources, and we'll be hearing in a moment or a couple minutes about from our partner SubjectToClimate about their various resources that they have. When you register, you'll get a dot on the map. We'll provide certificates. We have a communication kit that you can use with our logo and branding materials and skits for plays and various other things. So lots of ways to be involved. I'm not going to go through this in any detail, but just to say, figure out what works best for you, get your dot on the map. Those of you in the Philippines, talk to Alec because he can help you to connect with resources and other things. I'm going to skip this last video, but this is what we're all about. We're trying to build hope and build community together. And I will put my contact information into the chat, and feel free to talk with me, email me, and we can communicate directly on that. So thank you all for being here. And I'm not going to take any questions yet, but what we'll do is next I'm going to turn to Tony Suzuki to talk about Klima Papel, the fabulous resource that she's developed. And then we'll turn to Elaine and her team from SubjectToClimate to talk about the whole treasure trove of content and educator support that they've developed. And then we'll go to discussions, questions, and answers at the end. So go ahead, Tony, please. And thank you so much for being with us.
All right. Thank you, Dr. David, for that. All right. So first, I'm going to introduce myself for so most of you who doesn't know me yet. So of course, so I started with this first with Worldwide Teach-In back in 2022 during our internship. So I was an undergrad student from the University of the Philippines, Open University. And yeah, so I've been working with Dr. David and Alec since then. So I was just an intern before, and then because of that internship, it has inspired me to uh, begin my practicum under the same topic. So at first, so Klima Papel, the first idea was just to create a very simple page that is it's like an online repository of resources or like lesson plans. So first, that was my initial idea because I attended some webinar with SubjectToClimate as well before. So I was inspired by like creating the lesson plans in the Philippine context. And then due to my advisors in my practicum and UPOU, they have told me why not make it something bigger, so not just a simple page. So from that, so I have developed Klima Papel. So again, so this is the website that I have created. So you can go ahead and check it out right now. So while I introduce it, so it's going to be quick. So just to show you what Klimapapel is. So you can just easily go to klimapapel.com. Okay. So right. So again, so Klimapapel, so it's a website that is a product of both my academic work in UPOU and my experience with Worldwide Teach-In. So it was called Worldwide Teach-In before, for those who do not know. So yeah. So in the website, so the main parts are the ready-to-use lesson plans grounded in the Philippine context. So I have made some lesson plans using topics from the Philippines. So I did some research on some communities on what kind of topic I can use, and then turn them into simple lesson plans with activities, and then it's complete with instructions, how to use them, and even some supplementary materials that the teachers or whoever facilitates can use to uh, make it a lesson, or some, if not in the classroom, so maybe outside the classroom. So there are also some materials that they can use. So just some examples. So one lesson I have there is the climate change. So this one, it features the song that the interns from the Philippines have created, or Alec has composed as well and sang the whole song. So from that very song, so it's a really nice song. I mean, I'm not just selling it, but it's
It's a wonderful song.
yeah, the lyrics are really nice, and even the music, and also I've developed a lesson plan out of it, like what kind of activities can students or other participants do out of that song. So you can go ahead and change no. Go ahead and check it on from the website. Okay. And yeah, so like this one, so it has questions for reflection, like just some ideas, like to easily incorporate the lesson plans on whatever activity they're doing. And another example I have is this one, so pagkain, so in English, food. So it's a simple lesson plan about food. So basically food waste. So there are materials included as well as, so yeah, so there, so the resources, so some YouTube videos that's about food waste. And so the activity on this one is, I think, for the lower grades. So I've developed the activities for the lower grades. And then, so these are the new developments I did last year. So yeah, I'm currently trying my best to update more or add more content as we go on. So I made a simple quiz. So it's a very simple digital quiz that people can use, like in classrooms, or maybe just for a quick quiz for discussion points. Like, for example, in a, I don't know, maybe a company meeting or something about the environment. So they can use it like to quickly have an idea on the environmental issues. And also I made an original storybook that I came up with just one day. I was just like, oh, why not make a storybook? And then I made it into English and also made it into Tagalog. So that's what I'm trying to do more, like add more Tagalog materials or Filipino materials. So in the native language. And yeah, so other content of the website. So there's a user guide and also a gallery. So for the gallery, it's linked. The images are linked to the original post that we had in the Worldwide Teach in Philippines page. So yeah, you can go ahead and check it out. So there's not much new things yet, but I'm adding more and in terms of the interface. So yeah, I'm planning on updating it actually. So maybe by February, maybe some things will be changing, but that's about it. So that's Klima Papel. So basically Filipino materials or Philippine context materials in a website that's accessible for Filipinos, or not just Filipinos, but anyone who needs materials, that and any people who may need or who may be able to use the materials in the website. Yeah. Sorry, it's a bit late here in Japan, so my mind is just all over the place. So yeah, so here are my emails. So because I'm looking for collaborations, like for my future plans for the website, or on in the near future, since I'm doing my master's now in development communication. So I'll probably be looking for more people to work with, especially with local communities in the Philippines, and still use the website as a key element on my academic work. And I think that's about it. So thank you so much. So I hope you understood everything that I said. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you very much, Tony. And I mean, it's a wonderful website. And Tony, when you get a chance, please put the link into the chat and also your contact information. But it's also it's a great example of what one person can do. You know, as Tony said, she started this. Tony started with us as a virtual intern in our social media for climate action virtual internship that we did a few years ago. Alec was also a part of that. And then Tony turned that into her project as an undergraduate, and then working on her master's. And it's a fabulous collection of work. So thank you, Tony, for speaking and also for presenting. So now I'm going to turn to our friends from SubjectToClimate. They have a much bigger team than the one person effort that Tony has done, and they have created a marvelous set of assists for all of us, and especially for those of you who are active teachers. So I'm going to turn to Elaine Makarevic to begin, and then you can share with your team. So thank you for being with us for a third consecutive webinar, Elaine.
Thanks so much, David, for that warm introduction. We're happy to be here. And I just want to start by saying congratulations, Tony, on that incredible work. I can't wait to dig into your website. Also happy to hear that you had connected with SubjectToClimate previously, and maybe we were a small bit of inspiration to help you think about what you could create for your educators in the Philippines. So glad to have everyone here. I am Elaine Makrovich. I'll just give a quick introduction of who I am. I'll introduce the rest of my team that's here. And then we do have a brief slide presentation to sort of walk you through who we are, what we have, what we do. So I'm a retired educator from New Jersey. I taught for 30 years in a K-6 elementary school. I am from Northwestern New Jersey. That's where I live. And I was connected with SubjectToClimate while I was still teaching when they launched their first state hub. SubjectToClimate is a resource database, and we call it our core site or our partner or our parent hub. And then we have state hubs that fall underneath that, which you'll hear a bit more about in a few minutes. My connection in New Jersey was to help develop some of the lesson plans and materials to help launch that first hub. Fast forward, I was asked to be the lead for New Jersey and help connect with educators there and present the hub to them. Fast forward a bit more, now we have 8 state hubs, and I am the supporter for those 8 state leads and helping them connect with educators just like you all across the United States and globally by what we see here today. So with me today, I have Laura Vernson. She is our outreach coordinator. She started with us as an intern just about a year ago, and we kept her. She's so amazing and did such an incredible job with supporting our team. She's now essential to much of our work, and so she'll be doing part of the presentation today. And then we also have Breck Foster, who is an educator in Oregon, and she's our state lead there. She's also done an amazing amount of work even before joining us at SubjectToClimate on social studies and environmental literacy and education across the state of Oregon. She's pretty well known there, I think, and we're lucky to have her. So she'll be also sharing part of our presentation. It'll be a bit informal. We want to really just sort of share and walk you through a bit and then give you an opportunity to actually go to the website and start to look for resources. Our goal today is to help you maybe find something you could use with your students or with your work in the month of March. So I'll share my screen and I'll bring up that slide deck and I'll begin. And just let me know if there are any issues with seeing my screen or the slide deck.
Okay, there it is. Sorry, just to interrupt for 1 second. For those of you from the Philippines, Alec did put a link in the chat for you to record your attendance because you will be getting a certificate for participating today. So those are one of the incentives that we provide. Go ahead, Elaine.
Perfect. As I mentioned, we're with SubjectToClimate, and here's our focus or our agenda for today. Our goals to help reflect on the challenges and opportunities for teaching about climate change, learn more about SubjectToClimate as a tool of empowerment, explore our site for free resources that might help you participate in Worldwide Climate and Justice Education Month, and then a bit of time to share and talk about what does the future look like in your classroom. So I'd like to start with an opportunity for you to share this reflection question. What challenges do you think teachers face or are you currently facing when you teach about climate change? And you can share either by putting a comment in the chat and I'll ask my colleagues to help share those, or if you'd like to unmute, you're welcome to do that as well. And yes, I see someone has raised their hand. Go ahead.
Thank you so much, Elaine. Ziada Nakari from Uganda. I'm a climate educator, but basically I do work with local and grassroots communities and educating the women. But my greatest challenge that I've always met is people perceive climate studies as something that is so science. So they assume it is complicated science that people who have not gone to school, like all people who are not scientists, they tend to just perceive it as a very complicated subject or sphere of learning. So they already come with a biased mind. Then also others think that climate works or climate action should be driven by the government. They solely think it's work for the state to take care of the climate works in the country. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. Anyone else or any comments in the chat? We'll continue. Oh, yes. Go ahead. Go ahead, John.
Okay. Good evening or good day, everyone. I'm from the Philippines. I'm a senior high school teacher. I think what I can say about this that I should reflect And if I say this, I may not sound like a teacher. My greatest challenge or problem is I have this urge, it's motivation, or it's like a fire burning, but then suddenly it dies out immediately. It's like I do not know where to start or how to get involved directly my students, knowing that yes, I have that urge, I have that fire burning, but then suddenly it dies out. It's like I'm lost in the middle of nowhere that I don't know what to do. So somehow, as a teacher, besides working in the government, in the Department of Education, it's like the deadline was always yesterday. We always have some urgent work, some deadlines to meet, to submit, and then suddenly to, 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 to inject this and to add to the more deadlines, somehow that makes the fire dies out. The urge, the initiative to start and involve my students or I myself for one. So those are where I see the problems or the challenges that as a teacher on my side, on my experience to get involved with. Thank you.
I think you probably saw Breck nodding. I was nodding. We absolutely agree with that. The challenge we hear so often is how do you add one more thing, and how do you build on what's already so full in your teaching schedule, your teaching day, and I hope we'll share some things today, some tips and ideas that might help you think about a place to start or a place to integrate, and then you can keep that fire slowly going and continue it. So thank you for sharing that. Here is what we hear. Low teacher confidence. This relates to another comment about it being just in the science world. And so we know that that makes it challenging for people who aren't science teachers, but we actually have integrated lessons and ideas and activities that help you as an English teacher or a math teacher. And it isn't just for the science world. And we also have connections that can help build confidence with that science content so that you feel more prepared to be in front of your students. We also see from our work around the country and the world, lack of time and resources, as you just mentioned. There's so much expected of a teacher and in the school year. We also often hear that it doesn't fit into the curriculum. And whether that's because it doesn't fit with what you are teaching or what you're required to teach, or it doesn't fit because there's no time. We also hear that in certain places it's a controversial subject, either in the community, in the school, in the government. And so for educators, that can be challenging. I'm going to pass along now in a moment to Laura, who's going to do a bit more of walking you through the different sections of our website. As I mentioned, we're doing this as a quick showing you some key elements, and then we want you to actually go on the website and pour around, search, click, find resources. So we're not actively going to go into the website right now. We're just going to highlight some of our key, most important ideas, starting with what is our mission. Our mission at SubjectToClimate, as I mentioned, we're a free resource database for educators and anyone around the world, is to empower all educators to easily and effectively teach about climate change, justice, and action. And that includes a vision of where we see a future where every child learns about climate change and becomes a steward of our planet. And that's what we see as the most important action, is that the education is the foundation to build them to be the leaders for the future. And so I'll pass it over to Lara, who will share with you more about our site.
Yes, thank you, Elaine. Hello, everyone. My name is Laura, and I've studied climate change in my bachelor, so I understand that it's a huge topic to tackle. So I'm really glad that we're all joined here today to talk about it and see how we can contribute a little bit to this big challenge. I'm currently living in the United Kingdom, and I've joined SubjectToClimate to help educators teach about climate change because I can see that the next generation, which I'm a part of, and even younger children really are going to be the next leaders for us to solve climate change. So Elaine mentioned our mission at Subject to Climate, and we are um, very aligned with Worldwide Climate Justice Education Month, and we have some amazing resources that we can give you. So we understand that climate change is a global problem, but we also, as you saw previously, have state hubs that tackle more of the local problems. Because an example is Elaine in New Jersey might be having challenges with flooding, but Breck, who is situated in Oregon, might be dealing with wildfires. So our resource database for our state hubs and the core website is the same. We have over 3,000 resources, which are applicable to people searching for global subjects, but also for the more state or regional or national levels. So on the site, you can see that we have a filter system where you can choose grade levels, subjects, resource types, and locations. So for those of you in the Philippines, I just did a quick search and I saw that we have over 120 resources located in Asia, which is really wonderful. So you could learn about how it's affecting sea level rise or coastal regions, mangrove ecosystems, or even biodiversity. And all of these resources are vetted by a team of scientists and educators. So you know that what you are teaching or the content that you're engaging with is professional, but it's also highly applicable. The next part, the next section of our site, which we offer, are ready-made lesson plans. That's lesson plans created by Subject to Climate. And we really wanted to stress with these lesson plans that they are created by teachers for teachers. So all of them are aligned with state standards or standards according to what might be national. And all of them have a really great structure of teaching about climate change. So it shows you how you can empower students, how you can explore climate change, and how you can integrate it. In these lesson plans, you have not only in the lesson plans also have ties to the units and standalone activities. And then in the next section, which is pretty much my favorite section, is the professional development. And here we have featured courses which are free to use, which give a basic understanding of climate change. So I believe that one of the people that just spoke up about having that drive and that fire inside of him, but then having it die off because you don't know where to start or how to even wrap your head around climate change. This is an excellent first step in becoming more confident with teaching climate change. So apart from those courses, we also have offerings of webinars like these or more local workshops in the professional development part. And then the next section. The next section is our teacher guides. These are the perfect first step for teachers to start teaching about climate change in a certain topic. So we have guides where you can start a topic. For example, we have a guide on Jane Goodall or on green careers. And these guides will really help you structure climate change into your subjects. The final part is news for students, which is just a fun section of our site where students can go in, select any article which they find interesting, and learn about that specific topic through a short section of text with a little quiz at the end, which is a great tool to just integrate into the beginning of the lesson to have a bit more interactions with your student. Right, and then the next section I will move to Breck.
Thanks, Laura. Hi, everyone. My name is Breck Foster. Really nice to be here with you. It's early morning here in Oregon, and I'll be heading to my classroom in about an hour. But I'm really excited to be here with you. I echo a lot of what I'm hearing here today. I've seen a real big connection between student learning and student action, and a sense of hope that they have when they're learning in the classroom about problems and solutions and are able to then take those actions in their community. So I'm excited about sort of how this larger conversation connects with worldwide climate justice education month. I have my own green team, which will be taking part, so I'm excited about that as well. So I'm going to be sharing. I'm wondering, Elaine, if should I just walk them through this without actually getting on the website? I'll just kind of go from here. Yeah,
I think just because of the time that we have,
makes
that if we
sense.
can
Perfect.
put the link
Yep.
to the course site in the chat and then walk them
Awesome.
through creating the account to, highlight that.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, so yeah, so thank you for putting that in the chat, Laura. There it is as well. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump onto the website if you're able to and create an account. So this is going to allow you to save some of your favorite lesson plans or resources that you find. And once you're on the core hub, it will also be linked to the other state hubs, so you can access your materials there as well. So you're gonna go and explore for about 5 minutes, maybe a little bit less. We'll see how much time, but for at least the next few minutes, go to where it says uh, educator resources or lesson plans, and find something that looks interesting. You can search in the key search area for a specific topic or grade level or keyword, depending on what's important or interesting to you and your students. And then try to save that, and that'll be kind of a first step. So go ahead and do that for the next few minutes, and then we'll check back in with what we find. And if you have questions, just throw them in the chat or unmute so we could help you.
And I'll just add that it's helpful to know that it's not required that you have an account. Anyone can use the site freely. Students can access it, your colleagues. The reason we encourage the account is to allow you to save those favorites, really hoping to save teachers time, that you can go back and find a place where you bookmarked something and you left off with something you wanted to look further into, but also know that the site is totally free and accessible with or without the account. And there is a process to making the account. I believe you get a email confirmation. So if a bit of that is challenging to go through those steps right now, you can also easily just be on the site and go into the resource database and search for things. We want to make sure there isn't a barrier for anyone. And also with the short amount of time we have, we usually try to have a longer time to do the walkthrough live on the site, but wanted to give you the opportunity to be live on the site yourselves.
Yeah, so maybe take just one more minute. Hopefully you can find a resource, and we're gonna ask if anyone wants to share out in a minute about what resource they found. one thing to think about too is for the subject to climate created lesson plans, they come with a slideshow. Those can all be adapted for your own classroom. So even if you want to grab just part of a lesson, I've done that before, or a single slide or concept to teach rather than teaching the whole lesson. All right. Give it another minute. And last thing, even though we're looking at sort of the main resource database and the lessons by teachers, I know as a social studies teacher, I use a lot the current events or the Juice News, which are short excerpts of STEM related news pieces and highly relevant, quick activity at the beginning of the class. It connects back to what I think it was John that was saying. It's a great sort of little entry point in a short, in a class day if you don't have time to do more. It's a great way to build vocabulary and key concepts. All right, well, I think we should go on to the next step. Would anyone like to share out a resource they found? And if you can progress the slide there, that would be great. Okay, super. I'm looking at my slideshow. Sorry. Okay. What is one resource that you found? Anyone be willing to unmute? You can also put it in the chat if you want.
This is what usually happens is they get so deep into the site and searching that it's difficult to maybe to bring them back, or they're still searching. And I think you know, in the interest of time too, that we want to allow for questions, perhaps you have some more questions for Breck. She's in the classroom, she's teaching right now. Or for Laura, just about in general, how to find things on the site. I unfortunately will be leaving in a few minutes. I have to sign on to another meeting here with SubjectToClimate. But I want to just thank David again for this opportunity to bring me and my team here with all of you. I appreciate Breck rising super early to join us, and I appreciate our colleagues in the Philippines who it's well late in the day for all of you. So we just appreciate the collaboration and the opportunity, and I'll quietly sign off in a bit, but I'll leave it with Breck and Laura to finish.
Elaine,
Thanks, Elaine. It's been a real pleasure to be working with you on this. And I'll say for everybody here that we will be sending a summary, an email to each of you with the link to the recording and to the resources that have been put in the chat and some other additional resources and links that we didn't mention. So thanks so much, Elaine.
Thank you,
So
Elaine.
any comments or questions for any of us? For Tony, or for me, or for Lara and Breck?
And if while we're waiting for comments, just a quick reminder that, or if you're interested in staying connected, to sign up for our newsletter using this QR code. Also, we didn't have time to go through it, but there's some great free professional development modules on climate change, climate education, and building your own climate lesson. Those are also on the hub. Back to you, David. Yeah, or to Laura, who can help as well. Thank you for having me today.
Yeah, I guess maybe I'll just ask a question and see if any of our Filipino teachers want to respond to that in terms of, that maybe you haven't had a chance to look at the resource enough, but a lot of the content on the Subject to Climate resource directory is based on US standards. And I'm wondering just your thoughts as to how applicable is this to your situation in the Philippines? Are assume the grade levels are roughly equivalent? Is the content something that you think, from at least the little investigation you have, is this something that you think is going to be valuable to you? And
And I was curious, I don't know if someone else was interested or if you already mentioned this at the beginning, but in the Philippines, is there a requirement around climate education? I see so many of you are here. I'm just curious if there's some sort of national requirement around climate education. We have some states in Oregon that have that. Okay, I'm seeing some. Yes, okay, great.
Maybe I
and
can input on this one.
please, Alec, yeah.
Uh, yeah, so I am not, I am a part-time teacher right now, but just to set the context, in the Philippines, it is actually, there's a law that wants or that aims to integrate climate change in terms of the curriculum. No? We have the climate change, that's part of our Climate Change Act of 2009. But, well, maybe the struggle is more on um, how to teach climate change in terms of other subjects or subject matter specialization. So in the Philippines, climate change is being taught under natural sciences, so science and technology subjects. So it's about greenhouse gas emissions, the greenhouse effect, um, and then the next uh may I might say the next level of discussion is considering it as a contemporary issue during high school, junior high school here in the Philippines. Um, but still, it's more on a scientific discussion rather than other aspects of climate. So maybe that's where uh subject to climate resources can come in terms of assisting educators here in the Philippines. Because as I have been exploring throughout years, like I think I have known subject to climate for 3 years already. I think it's more generalized and much is more applicable, but um, in terms of curriculum, I might say it's more applicable grade school level. Yeah. In terms of the Philippines, we have and for my fellow educators in the Philippines, maybe we need to be more innovative and kind of tweak certain parts of our curriculum in order to really intersect climate in our discussions. But this give a tour to the Subject to Climate website because I think it would be a great help for all of us. And I have used some in the past, but I contextualize them in my subjects because my specialization is more on social science. Uh, Thank you.
Thank you for that. That was really helpful. I really appreciate that context.
I do want to add for LMA and Saman who've just joined us. We're actually getting towards the end. Saman, you go ahead. You have your hand up. But we will. I can stay on a little bit and talk with you each afterwards too. So go ahead, Saman.
Hello everyone. Hello Olaf. dear professors. I'm Suman Ghaznavi. I'm from Afghanistan, but for now I'm living in Afghanistan. And to talk about this hijra to Afghanistan, closed it, however, uh, overeducated for women and uh, girls. And for now, only learning online point and for women and girls. Uh, to 2021 to environment in Afghanistan. Um, the first is not closed for your high school and university for girls and women, and to finish to 2021, all of closed schools, closed university. This year I am 10th grade in your schools, and I am only 15 years old, but closed all of them. And I start to in 6 months. I'm not going outside home, and before 6 months, I start to learn to online classes and join to online classes, learning new skills and new language. But 2022, I start working to an organization, and I'm teaching for women and girls and free. All of them is free. But in 2022, I start make one homeschool my at home and teaching to girl and women. Teach to computer and English. For 2023, I started working to one international organization, start offline work, and teaching to hold women in this office and organization. And I am learning different language, Turkish language, and for now I am teaching Turkish language and computer program for women and girls in uh, online programs. It's all of them is free for girl and women, but my yourself, I graduated your online school in 2025 and start online American University to BBE field, BBE field, and I finished it. Um, I finished coding part and Python part into Harvard University. This program is online to Harvard University and finished this programs, and I am one team of scout programs in Afghanistan for now. And for now I work it and I am learning. For now I learned two German language, and I start to work it to help to another girl and share my skills to another girls. And I learned to uh, uh, professional computer programs and catch to new hero to this part because my big dream one day inshallah work it to Microsoft Teams, and uh, I work this team, especially Elon Musk, because it's my favorite dreams in the future, and I'm out working to a step by step goal to this reach to this dream. And for now, I start a little uh, business. I make a one online page in the jewelry, and I don't have money to this start this work. Only make it page, and uh, this uh, is my work. But in Afghanistan, for now, all of people use it to social media, and all of girl and women learning to social media and especially science programs. For now, yeah. Thank you.
Saman, I don't even know where to start than to say that you are an amazing person, and we are, I don't think any of us can really truly understand what you and the other women and girls of Afghanistan are going through. But we want to be as helpful as we can. The resources from Subject to Climate, at least they're available online, and so you can access those through the internet, as can others in Afghanistan, and continue your education and the education of others. I'll also say that we do have a partner. He was on briefly, Hussein Sadat, who started the Blue Water Association and heads that in Afghanistan. He is our liaison to Afghanistan. And if you can put your email into the chat, someone, then I will connect you with Hussein if you're not already working with him.
Thank you, dear
Frank, I know you.
Professor.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry. Yes.
Thank you, dear Professor, to help to the situation for Afghan girl. But for now, the situation for Afghanistan is very hard because Taliban is very hard situation for now in Afghanistan for girl. A girl is not going to house at home without hijab or mask, and going to outside home without hijab or mask. Uh, I think it is going to, it is judge this person and it is fighting to this woman and girl. But it's very hard to, uh, for Afghan girl. But whole of girl, I think me teaching 100 girl in the part section of sections, but it is very good. All of girl, it's very hard working to reach the goals, and it is learning to new language and going abroad of Afghanistan to finish study to favorite field, and it is very good feeling for me because me sharing my skills for another person's, and it is very good. And me teaching I'm making homeschool. All of girl is very poor, the displaced, and I'm teaching this person. It is very good feeling for me because I don't have a computer, my and my student, all of them I don't have a computer, but me drawing to all of part of computer your board, whiteboard, and all of my student drawing your notebooks and your books. But it's a very good part because for now my students, all of my students, teachers, to my students going to house at Afghanistan for a study to a favorite field. But me, I'm only 19 years old, but this time catch it a lot of experience, a lot of work for women and girls, but it is very good point for me. Thank you a lot, dear Professor.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And if you want to stay on, we can talk a little bit. I'm going to conclude here and to say that first of all, thank you all for being with us. We will have another webinar at the same time and using the same link next week. We're going to be learning and talking about use of games in education about climate change. So, Laura, did you have any closing remarks that you wanted to make?
No, I just wanted to thank you for bringing us on, and it's really wonderful to hear from so many different voices around the world, and I'm especially inspired to keep on working in this space and continue our fight against climate change. So thank you, David, and all of you participants.
Yes, well, thank you. And Alec, do you want to have the last word here?
Oh, I just want to say thank you everyone for being here, and of course Dr. David for facilitating our discussion for today. I hope that our next sessions. To our next sessions, you can also invite our fellow Filipino educators. 'Cause there's much to know about the movement, and hopefully you're inspired, or at least we piqued your interest to join our Worldwide Climate and Justice Education Month this coming March. So if you have any questions, just and this goes for everyone, not just for the Filipinos. If you want to connect with us, we are from the Philippines. We are Youth for Active Citizenship and Leadership, and we will be gladly collaborate with you on anything about climate and environment, of course. Thank you very much. Great day ahead, everyone.
Yeah, thank you all. And Alec, let's set a time to talk separately and make some plans here. So thank you all. And um, if if anybody wants to stay on and talk, and Saman, if you want to stay, I'll stop the recording and then we can talk even more. So thank you all, and have a good sleep for those of you in the Philippines.